The Dallas Cowboys gig now. Obligatory Dallas Cowboys talk. The Dallas Cowboys gig. Jason Garrett doesn't have to be fired because his contract is up. So it's not like Jerry Jones has to give "you're fired." Doesn't have to do that. Just doesn't have to re-sign him, which everybody is saying is probable. Now, there's a lot of names that have been linked to this Dallas Cowboys gig. A lot of names. We even threw in there that potentially Josh McDaniels gets fired. Or not gets fired, but goes down there and takes Tom Brady with him over there. That'd be wild. Then Urban Meyer's name started floating around because Urban Meyer, not only a legendary college coach, but everybody seems to think that he wants to tip his toes into the NFL water. Not a lot of college coaches have had success, especially those who coach in his particular fashion, but Urban Meyer seems like the type of guy who would be a nice fit with the Dallas Cowboys, other than the fact that Jerry Jones handles all personnel decisions. So could that be a problem for a guy that's used to controlling everything? I'd assume so. In my eyes, the person they should hire is Lincoln Riley. Because just like Cliff Kingsbury, just like Sean McVay, just like Matt LaFleur even, these young coaches who are supposed to be these masterminds of offense, which I think Lincoln Riley can take credit for. I mean,
for sure.
He's done very well with numerous different quarterbacks that have transferred in there. He doesn't want to have to deal with the general manager responsibilities anyways. He doesn't want to have to deal with all the glitz and glamour that Jerry Jones handles and what might call for, an interesting personality difference with a guy who owns the team, who's a billionaire making all the decisions. Lincoln Riley can come in there and just have to run the offense, run the day-to-day for the team. And I think what I've learned about Lincoln Riley is that his players love him. Like, Lincoln Riley's players love him, which is something that is a big, big part of being a coach, is getting your players to want to run through a wall for you. You got Dak Prescott, they're going to have to pay him. You got Ezekiel Elliott. I assume they're going to pay Amari Cooper as well. You have Gallup, who's somehow playing well. Cobb, who's playing well. You have a great offensive line. Lincoln Riley can go in there and get that offense rolling. Now, is the defense ready to go? I think they had some injuries, so maybe that'll be on the other side. But for me, Lincoln Riley seems like the right fit. It might not be the guy that gets hired, but in my eyes, Lincoln Riley, what more do you need to accomplish in college? Are you going to, in Oklahoma, keep winning until you get to the college football playoff and just get slaughtered every single year? Is that what you're going to do? You have guys who've already gone to Heisman. You've been there, done that with basically everything. I think Lincoln Riley's the right hire for the Cowboys. And I have no say in this at all. Obviously, nobody does other than Jerry Jones. But I don't know why that wouldn't happen. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I buy into it, by the way. It's not like the more and more I think about it, I'm going the other way. The more and more I think about it, like him with Dak Prescott could probably turn him into an absolute monster, especially with the success you've seen with Kyler and with Lamar. And Dak's ability, not only to throw, but he's also an athlete. I think an underappreciated athlete Dak Prescott is because he's a pocket passer so much. I think Lincoln Riley can get in there and do some real work for them. I don't know why he wouldn't do that.
I have a question for you. I saw a lot of people saying, do you think they take into account at all them getting their ass beat in that game? Like, does
Oklahoma?
Does that make
it's all recruiting. I think everybody knows that it's recruiting. I think that's the thing about college football that I've learned through our, 1 year now in the college football world is there's some teams that just got dudes. And whenever you go down on the field and you look at one side and then you look at the other side, you're like, damn, this looks like some men over here. Well, hello there. Utilize the promo code PAYTHEBILLS and get $20 off your first order from SeatGeek. Now, back to the magic. And this looks like some children over here. Now, granted, this team might have great scheme and they might be buying in more, so they might beat the team of athletes. But I think whenever you look at what LSU has versus what Oklahoma was able to have. Now, does that fall on Lincoln Riley for not being able to recruit like that? Potentially. Oklahoma's a massive name. Big 12 is a big conference, so maybe it is his fault for not getting the same type of dudes that the SEC guys are getting. But for me, I think getting them into the college football playoff with the teams that he has, I think is more than enough to warrant a fact that, hey, this guy, his strategy, his scheme on the offensive side would be a good NFL coach. I don't know how he runs the day-to-day. I think he is respected and appreciated by his players, which I like a lot. But for me, I think he's the right answer. And I think, if you're Lincoln Riley, what do you want to do? You want to keep just getting blown out? Is that what you want to do? I don't know. How much more do you want? How much more can he accomplish at college at Oklahoma? Unless he takes one of those schools, big-time schools in the SEC or Ohio State gig, or I guess Clemson now, what's the next step for him in college? I don't know what it is. But I think in the NFL, the next step for him could be, hey, I could ride this train of innovation that everybody's doing in the NFL right now and really maybe take that next step. And if you win with the Dallas Cowboys, just like if you win in any place that has a cult legion-like fan base, you're a hero forever. And I think Lincoln Riley could be a guy that could go in there and win.
Yeah, I think right now would be a great time if I was Lincoln Riley to make the jump as well, because Oklahoma is a blue blood school. And if you keep getting beat like this in the college football playoffs, just like it happened to Bob Stoops, like you could get so far and
It'll
then
turn.
Yeah, they're going to start turning on you. But so like right now,
how many times? How many times, Lincoln? Yeah, you can get us to the dance, but you can't move your feet. Trying to dose you down two-step with the big boys, and all we do is sit on the wall. That's what'll happen.
Exactly.
They're a boomer. That's all they'll do. They have a diehard fan base.
Oh, yeah.
And it's real, though. Like Stoops, for a long time, was able to get to a big game, and then they weren't able to win. My West Virginia team beat the hell out of them in the Fiesta Bowl, and they were talking about how we weren't a good enough opponent for them. Like Stoops was even like, well, we thought we'd get a better opponent or whatever. So it is something that's very interesting to me. And I think right now, if I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm very proud of the accomplishments that I've done at Oklahoma. I assume Oklahoma's very proud of what he's done. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be tough for any of these college coaches to turn their back on their players. I think when we talked to Norvell last week or 2 weeks ago, when he talked about how he had to address the team that he was going to Florida State, how that was the hardest conversation he's ever had because he recruited those kids there. He had that entire moment with them. Because in college, you're taking boys to men. A, B, C, so it's a whole new world. It's a very chemistry is high between coach and players. But for him, I don't know why you wouldn't go. And Jerry Jones, I think, should be making that call, honestly. Urban Meyer, maybe because he's a massive name, but I think Lincoln Riley's the guy that you're going to want.